What up, YouTube? What up, YouTube? I am sitting here saying to myself, when I first heard 120 cases, which is that number's out the window now. It's more than 120. It's more like 130 now. There's a couple of other lawyers that has cases, that filed cases that's not part of the Bugsby team, right? Then you have lawyers for 3 men accusing Sean Diddy Combs of, oh my God, of R. Oh man, I keep forgetting that to say the word rip. Grapes. Anyway, this was just sent to me, man. I guess this is breaking news. Y'all hit that subscribe button, hit that bell. We're going to keep you up to date, and we probably go on our live channel and talk more about this. We're going to live channel and talk more about this. The Music Recording Network Live. You might watch, click the links, because this video is only 3 minutes long. Check out links, or you could do a search. The Music Recording Network Live. The Music Recording Network Live. Man, we have so much fun in our live. People are asking questions and sending and voicing their opinion and sending more clips. And I try my best to acknowledge you, and try my best to let you speak what you believe, you know, even if you think Puffy should be let free. And I hope that all this is a bad dream. I swear I hope it is, man. I don't want nobody to experience any pain. But if you hurting little kids, if you hurting somebody that don't want to be hurt, I have a problem with that. So let's see what these lawyers got to say.
We're here today to answer any questions for 3 lawsuits we filed against Sean Combs. All of these cases involve the rape of men. The facts of the cases are all dramatically similar. Men. They all involved drugging of these victims, raping by Sean Combs and others, and following the rapes, threats to the safety of each one of these victims. And we're here to obtain some justice for these people for events that have been traumatizing them ever since. So that's what I'm here for. If you have any questions, happy to answer. Well, the reason is to file the suit now is fear. First of all, they're traumatized by the fact that they were raped by Mr. Combs. And then second of all, each one of them were threatened with bodily harm if they went public or they said anything to anybody. So there's strength in numbers. Now that it's public, now that Sean Combs is in jail, they feel comfortable coming out as under a pseudonym. And I know there's been a lot about why are they not announcing their names. I think most rape victims wouldn't want their names out in public, and they also don't want to end up with a target on their back. So that's one. Well, actually, they weren't all parties. There was only one that was a party. The other one, my client worked for Mr. Combs doing errands and things. And like a lot of rich guys, Sean Combs is cheap, and he didn't pay what he was supposed to do for the services that he was getting. And when
what does that got to do with anything?
One, my client worked for Mr. Combs doing errands and things. And like a lot of rich guys, Sean Combs is cheap, and he didn't pay what he was supposed to do for the services that he was getting. And when my client went to meet with him to try to get paid for the work he had done, he was drugged and raped and threatened. And of course, he never got paid. One of them was a party out in the Hamptons.
Okay, my bad. That's my bad.
Rapes by multiple people. And the other one was at the Park Hyatt here in New York. Because shortly after the incident, each one of these men were reached out to by members of his entourage at the time or after, and were told, this didn't happen, you don't want this to be public. And they knew that Sean knew people who could potentially do them harm. So they were frightened.
And were they ever offered to be paid off?
Well, with one of them, when he was drugged out and being pushed out the door, they shoved money in his pocket and said, this never happened, right?
How much money was that?
It was $2,500, I believe.
And how did they know they were drugged?
Because they were talking to him like we're talking right now. They'd be given a drink, and shortly thereafter. And it's uncanny because I've spoken to 60 people, more or less, with claims, and I've only filed these 3 cases and put my name and my reputation behind them. But what would happen is they would be offered a drink, they would lose control of their bodies, they would pass out, and they'd be woken up being raped.
And anally raped?
Yes.
Okay. And was there anybody else there besides Combs?
For 2 of them, yes. For the one who was the employee, no.
Okay. Can you tell us who the other people were?
No, I cannot. They're not.
Man, I keep saying over and over again, these lawyers, when they have these cases, these 3 cases, right? He said 3. They have already talking to so many people. They are picking and they cherry picking. You know what cherry picking means? Means that they picking the best ones out of the bunch to represent in court. When Bugsby said he had 120 cases, but 3,000 people called. Now, I was saying from the very beginning, if 3,000 people have called, let's say half of the 3,000 people are bull jiving. Half of them is just out for money. Half of them, you know, I'm broke. I'm trying to pay my bills, so let me call this 1-800. Yeah, he raped me too, man. I was in New York. My butt started hurting. Where was you at? I was on the train, sitting on them hard seats. You know what I'm saying? I'm just driving. But side note, my man, look at my man hair.
New people who could potentially do.
His hair flying all over the place. The other 2 guys' hair ain't moved a muscle, ain't moved an inch. Anyway, on a serious note, Puffy has been doing some very, very bad things to a lot of people for a very, very long time. And what happened was, the more he did it and nothing happened to him, the more openly he was doing it. It's like you go into a store, you kind of steal some candy. The first time, you nervous as heck. Second time, third time, 5th time, 20th time, you used to it. Look around, put the candy in your pocket. Cool, I'll walk out. You used to it. Same routine. But all it takes is one time to get caught. And the producer guy, Rod Jr., put that case out, and this is how people do things. Then Cassidy, well, I'm putting one out too. Shoot, now, people coming forward. I'm keep coming forward. I'm coming forward. So now everybody and their mother's coming forward. He said 60 people he talked to.
So they were frightened.
And were they ever offered?
Watch this, y'all. Watch this.
One that was a party. The other one
was a party.
My client worked for Mr. Combs doing errands and things. And like a lot of rich guys, Sean Combs is cheap, and he didn't pay what he was supposed to do for the services that he was getting.
Yeah, I didn't think that was a very important point that he was going to make. I thought that he was going to go to was Sean is cheap, and he didn't pay my client what he was supposed to be paid. And I'm thinking, well, if you agree on a salary, that's your problem. That don't have nothing to do with the case, but it does have something to do with the case, because the guy went to go ask for his money, and that's when he got.
The other one, my client worked for Mr. Combs doing errands and things, and like a lot of rich guys, Sean Combs is cheap, and he didn't pay what he was supposed to do for the services that he was getting. And when my client went to meet with him to try to get paid for the work he had done, he was drugged and raped and threatened, and of course he never got paid. One of them was a party out in the Hamptons where there were multiple rapes by multiple people, and the other one was at the Park Hyatt here in New York. Because shortly after the incident, each one of these men were reached out to by members of his entourage at the time or after, and were told, this didn't happen, you don't want this to be public. And they knew that Sean knew people who could potentially do them harm, so they were frightened.
And were they ever offered to be paid off?
Well, with one of them, when he was drugged out and being pushed out the door, they shoved money in his pocket and said, this never happened, right?
How much money was that?
It was $2,500, I believe.
And how did they know they were drugged?
Because they were talking to him like we're talking right now. They'd be given a drink, and shortly thereafter, and it's uncanny because I've spoken to 60 people, more or less, with claims, and I've only filed these 3 cases and put my name and my reputation behind them.
I talked to 60 people, and think about it. Do he have exactly a number? And this is what I do when I'm listening to these things and coming to a conclusion. He said, I talked to 60 people, and then he kind of hesitant and kind of changed it. Well, we don't have a exact number because it's not like my law firm has went to exactly 60 people. That's what his body language just said, more or less 60 people. Right, watch this. This is what I got.
Shortly thereafter, and it's uncanny because I've spoken to 60 people, more or less, with claims, and I've only filed these 3.
60 people with claims. Well, more or less. I don't know the exact number. So what I do right then and there, I take 60, the number 60 he had, and I cut it in half. That's 30. So you spoke to 30 people because you know how people talk about the fish that got away and make, you know what I'm saying? So if he said he talked to 60, he probably talked to about 58, or he probably talked to about 50. I'm just going to say 60 so it can be a big number while I'm telling my story. But even if it's 30 people he talked to, that's 30 more people that Puffy has did something he ain't had no business doing. And out of them 30 people, they filed 3 more cases on him. So the 120 people plus the other 5 people that got different lawyers, right? And the little boy that said that he was 9 years old with the soda. That's the only thing I remember. That's the biggest part of the story that I remember, that the little kid was offered a soda. And then when the parents knew, that something was wrong, but he wouldn't say, because he said, if you say I'm going, he said that Diddy said that if you talk or say anything, I'm going to kill your whole family or something like that. I'm paraphrasing. I really don't know exactly word for word what he said, but you get the point. So, what happened after that was the mother and father, they knew something was wrong, so he finally admitted and said it. And I'm amazed. I'm really amazed. Out of the 30 years or X amount of years Puffy's been doing this to so many people, I'm amazed at the fact that all these people who big, bad, they throwing these gang signs up, bow, 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 all in these cameras and throwing up the middle finger, representing East, all these bad people got straight up sucker that ain't do nothing. I thought it was more people that would stand up for themselves, period, no matter what. I'll go down fighting. Even if I'm losing, I'm going to keep fighting. I thought it was more people like me. And people, sometimes it's a short video, but all right, let's get to the end of it one more time. Wait a minute.
My reputation behind them. Shortly thereafter, and it's uncanny because I've spoken to 60 people, more or less, with claims, and I've only filed these 3 cases and put my name and my reputation behind them.
Because these are the ones I can prove.
What would happen is they would be offered a drink, they would lose control of their bodies, they would pass out, and they'd be woken up being raped.
And anally raped?
Yes.
Okay. And was there anybody else there besides Combs?
For 2 of them, yes. For the one who was the employee, no.
Okay. Can you tell us who the other people were?
No, I cannot.
No,
they're not
gonna say
anybody
nothing.
famous, so I'm not making any claim like that.
Come on, man. I ain't gonna do that. Come on, bruh. I ain't gonna do that. But look here, I'm gonna get on up out of here. Hey, y'all take it light, take it slow. Tell them Uncle Mike told you so. Peace out.